Fabulous. Okay, you guys, thank you for working so well in your reading circles and your small groups. Let me know at the end of class if I didn't get any of your homework handed in. I think I grabbed everyone's. So we're just going to jump right in today. Remember, yesterday we read the first half of the chapter for functional perspective on group decision making, and we're going to be talking about group decision making because it's the biggest part of our unit this time. So, can anyone remember exactly what the 4 main parts are for our functional perspectives?
Problem analysis? No?
Thank you, Brett. Yeah.
Okay.
Problem analysis, that's the first one. Anyone tell me?
Setting.
Oh, sorry, do you have another one?
Recognizing alternatives.
Oh. Go ahead, Carol.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons, right. And a good way we can look at those pros and cons, positive and negative consequences of our alternatives, we can think about Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. Remember, when Ted has a problem, what does he do?
Have you met Ted? Where's the list?
Not have you met Ted. Thank you, though. Good try. No, he makes a pros and cons list on his pen and pad. Okay. So we're pulling this from a first look. Remember, we've also been working on this for the past couple of days. A first look is all about Griffin's book. Chapter 17 is in here. So this is just pulled straight from there. Part of your homework will be going back to there, so we can talk about that later. Okay, so on to a quick overview before we get into the main point of the second half of chapter 17, which is the functional perspective. So these are what we're working on for our small group when we want to achieve a specific goal. The prerequisite functions are those 4 we just named. We have problem analysis, goal setting, finding our alternatives, and then creating that pros and cons list. Does anyone have a specific question as to what requisite might mean? Does anyone know what requisite is? Like, why do we need them?
It's something that's needed for achievement of a specific result.
Right. So, if we're standing here at point A and we got to get to point B, everything in the middle is important, right? We have to try to get there, and so what's in the middle are all these requisites that we have to first work on getting to. Very good. Okay, so yes, those are our requisite functions, those specific tasks that we need to do good group analysis. So something we can think about also as a requisite would be getting into math class, right? In order to get into Algebra 2, we have to first take Algebra 1. So that's what a requisite is. So the requisite functions for making a good decision while we're in our groups are working through those 4 functions. Okay, so now we're going to do a little activity. We're going to watch the Big Bang. Just a little piece of it. Has anyone seen the Big Bang? Yeah? Okay, can anyone tell me what the gift buying dilemma is between Penny and Sheldon? Who knows this? Anna?
Sheldon wants to give a gift, but he doesn't know what to get because he doesn't know how much Penny is spending on him, so he wants to be like even because he doesn't want to owe her anything.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to watch a little clip, and we're going to go through and we're just going to apply the 4 functions, that goal setting and everything else, into Sheldon's plan. And we're going to pick out how he uses each one to decide on what gift to buy Penny. So, let's bring up the volume, shall we? Okay.
Did you forget your key?
So we want to think about the 4 functions and how Sheldon's going through them, thinking about them.
I don't see anything in here a woman would want.
You're kidding. You've got lotions and bath oils and soaps. That's the estrogen hack trick.
What it is a cacophonous assault of eucalyptus, bayberry, cinnamon, and vanilla. It's as if my head were trapped in the pajamas of a sultan. Sheldon, if you don't like this stuff, let's just go next door and build her a bear. I told you before, bears are terrifying.
Come on, bath stuff. It's perfect. You got scented candle, a cleansing buff, spearmint, and green tea scented bath oil promotes relaxation.
I presuppose Penny is Ken's.
She knows you. She stands. We all are. My boss is. Excuse me, we're ready.
No, we're not. Let's say for a moment that I accept the bath item gift hypothesis. I lay the following conundrum at your feet. Which size?
This one. Let's go.
You put no thought into that.
I'm sorry. This one. Let's go.
I have insufficient data to proceed. Excuse me, miss? Yes. If I were to give you this gift basket, based on that action alone and no other data, infer and describe the hypothetical relationship that exists between us. Excuse me? Here. Now, are we friends? Colleagues? Lovers? You my grandmother? I don't understand what you're talking about, and you're making me a little uncomfortable.
See? Sounds just like you and Penny. We'll take it.
Okay. So, let's start. What is the problem? What's the problem here going on?
He doesn't know what to buy Penny.
Right, he doesn't know what to buy Penny. Okay, so next, besides problem analysis, now we need to think of the goal. So what is Sheldon trying to do? What's his specific criteria he's trying to work with in order to solve the problem? Can you tell me? Okay, so he wants to buy a gift for Penny, but one thing he doesn't know is how much she is actually spending on him. So part of the criteria for his goal setting is that he wants to be within a certain money bracket. Can everyone see how that works into the goal setting? So the goals are just the criteria that we want to apply to our alternatives, which is our third step. So moving into the alternatives, what are some different things that he talked about getting for Penny? Soap.
Bears.
Going to build bear.
Build-A-Bear, right? So now what he did was he took Build-A-Bear and he applied it to the criteria. So how did he feel about getting Penny something from Build-A-Bear? They were scared. So that didn't work with part of his goal setting, the criteria. How about the gift basket?
He didn't know what size to get her.
Right. So the last part are the pros and cons. Besides money, how did he think Penny might feel? This was towards the end when he was asking the woman who was working there, are we friends? Are you my grandma? So those are the pros and cons that Sheldon was talking about and looking at. So a con would be he was afraid that it would give off the wrong message of their friendship. Does anyone have any questions or want me to clarify something more into how that applies to what we just saw? No? Do we feel like we all have it? Okay, so that pretty much concludes our little bit of our overview that we're looking at for the first half of chapter 17. So, now we're going to talk about Hirakawa and Guran's final part of their theory. One of the names we've been running across a lot is John Dewey. He was a big model that Guran and Hirakawa worked off of, but we're going to first talk about these three types of communication because we have a different project we're going to do later on in the day. We'll cover the topic more also tomorrow. It'll be part of your homework. So let's start with promotive. Now this type of communication you're going to find in your small groups when you're making decisions. Some of you, as I was walking around during your reading circles, you were already doing it. Promotive are actions that focus your group on solving your problem. So Anna, when you were talking to Carolyn and you said, okay, I feel like this doesn't fit into what I want for lunch. You guys talking about what you want to eat? Do you remember that?
Yeah. That sounds like something.
So that's promotive action. Trying to figure out what you wanted and making a list about it. Now disruptive is just as it sounds. It's completely against. It's going to stop everything that people want to do and it distracts the group from making your decision. So instead of making a list, Carolyn said, I don't know, I was thinking about gym. Had nothing to do with what they were talking about or their goals. So it's disruptive. Counteractive, can you guys see that all the way at the bottom? You're a little bit on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Counteractive is just someone someone bringing the group's focus back to that main goal. So that could have been either of you bringing back to what you wanted for lunch. And that's, these are just your three main forms of communication. This will be in your homework. It'll be part of that firstlook.com that you guys have also been working on, but we'll also get back to that at the end. We'll continue on anyways. So we're going to go back to John Dewey and his interactive system model of decision making. I know that's a lot of words for just a model. Here's the thing though. We've been reading a lot about it, and you're going to need to apply this later on to your final presentation at the end of the unit. So I need you guys to listen up. Can anyone tell me on a quick side note what Dewey modeled this after?
Doctors making diagnoses and prescriptions to patients.
Very good. You must have did your chapter reading. Oh.
I did.
I wish I had a candy to give you. Congratulations. Okay, so we have the first one, which is recognizing system of issues. This is just like our first function, analyzing your problem. We have diagnosis of the causes of the issue. Now, these two first steps, can you kind of see how Hirokawa and Goran just combined them into one of analyzing the problem? Can you see how that worked out? So it's not just recognizing it, but diagnosing it, and they just put it into analyzing the full problem. Whatever the issue is, realize what it is. Third step for Dewey is establish criteria for solution. So this is the same as goal setting. It's just what is important that you need to match against the alternatives that you guys are going to be talking about. So while your group is making a decision, whatever the problem is now you need something to apply it against. We have number 4 for Dewey, consider possible solutions. So considering possible solution is just